It's got to be recording. But,
Have you started it?
I can't see anything.
You can sit somewhere else.
Is it recording?
Yes, it's recording.
Well, I'm very good. This is good content damage.
Yeah.
I wonder how long the recording will.
This will be like bloopers before your actual talk.
Does
Hey, Lauren.
your camera really last this long?
You'll find out.
What? Okay.
I don't know actually. That's the answer.
Okay. You can start it when you actually start.
Yeah, it's only
It's just
15
10
minutes
minutes,
from now.
Okay.
It's
Yeah. I
a
will.
fraction.
Yeah.
Yeah. How's it going, Lauren? Want some cookies?
Yeah.
Brownies?
Best?
Yes.
Alright.
So
Sure.
don't be offended that I have my laptop.
Let me give you
I was just thinking should I go bring my laptop.
Yeah.
I'm hoping there is no hard time.
I get bored of these things after like 15 minutes.
That's the amount of things you'll not know.
Uh-oh, now that's on. It's recorded now.
So you can't say anything.
No, I mentioned that I get bored of these things like after 20 minutes, so that's
fair.
probably.
You want earphones?
I think,
But you might be an exception.
I think even you get
Hey,
bored after
alright.
20 minutes.
Look at me.
Oh yeah.
So corporate. Yeah, that's it.
So New York.
Just going to work.
This
straight
is
after
not
this.
very West Coast.
Just no, they're all.
This is definitely not very Apple.
They're all in jeans and
Hey,
t-shirts.
how's it going? Good luck.
Okay, I estimated 25 people. What do you got still? I know, maybe I should have gone higher than 25.
Yeah. 30 to 40.
You say
Just as group is 10.
Get all set. Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't even
Where's
know
your
that.
coffee? Get your
Shoot, well, add like
Notes?
10 people to
Yeah,
ask.
30 to 40.
You just made it thick enough.
No,
so that
you just made it thick enough.
You just wrote enough pages.
Well, Tiffany, then you just need 20
He's gonna have the
pages.
same problem. Yeah, I have to make one.
Just drop one of your
Yeah.
Check my,
No.
my senior
It has to be
thesis.
one line. You can't get 2 lines.
No, they just put it horizontal.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Wow.
display.
Oh, you passed.
You know?
That's good. Good news. Everybody help yourself.
Yeah, you can't resist. Because stress is.
Going straight to work after this. Pros and stone, pros and con. Just not con.
Okay, then.
Do you know what it says? Just popped up.
Airplane?
I have no idea what airplane display
Is it? I know, yeah, thin dot limit. So.
Very good.
Right?
You
This
borrowed
one,
it?
right?
This is
Maybe it's some device in the.
Yeah, there's.
As if you borrowed it from
Oh, it's an Apple near.
Shut up, Ryan. Don't give people ideas.
Is there an
They'll all
Apple TV
start
in this
thinking the
room?
same thing.
This is the
We're all
exclusive
thinking
secret. This is Netflix.
I have no idea. Okay.
It's like economy
Could you be
plus.
certain?
It's economy plus seating. Oh, this is first class.
I'm in economy.
That's lounge seats.
I never
This is
have.
business class. This is first class.
I'm in the lounge.
In the lounge.
I'm going to coach class then.
Very good. Furthest away from the screen. Can't really see.
But this is like, I feel like it's like too directly in front of the screen. You have to kind of listen to the talk and not do something else.
Is that audio video on demand? Can we change the channel?
Yeah, you can leave and do another talk.
You can do what he's doing. Bring your
Yeah, I
laptop.
brought my laptop.
That's very clever.
That's what you gotta
Watch
do.
YouTube videos without muting them.
No, even better. Watch YouTube videos and then just turn the screen so Bhadri watches cats jumping up and down.
I think pass it around.
Guys, this is a serious thing. Bhadri might not pass.
Like if I'm gonna commit it, this is like you'll pass. Just look at this suit. Very serious thing.
It's good news, man. They tried giving a practice pack this morning. It's too long.
No motivation for it.
Can't
So are they gonna ask you some some fundamental questions.
I hope not.
How does a diode work?
To the bad.
Yeah, right, okay, excellent.
I don't know how a diode works.
Really?
How does a diode work?
Triangle thingy.
Yeah, that's good.
It works.
Triangle with the line.
Once you draw the triangle, it exists.
So, no, it's just so happened with last maintenance. Keeping her top.
Yeah, she sent me.
So how does it work?
Diode.
Yeah.
You just connect to the
Alright.
battery and then current will go in one direction, but not in the other direction.
Why doesn't it go
Thank you.
straight here?
Yeah, there's a barrier for electrons. It has to jump through a hill, and basically it's a hill and can go and
Yes.
down the hill, not up the hill. The hill is a potential.
Yeah, this one's for me.
That's a very accurate description of that.
Only one of them has your name on it?
Yeah, but
Well, that's
a
for me and
description.
That's for me. That's
So
what
it's
I'm
confusing.
using.
It's
Now,
for
there's
specials.
copies
That's
of
what
like
I-
library.
There's a potential.
Okay,
for
yeah.
resistance, too.
The library gets burned.
It's a symmetric potential.
Yeah, so what's asymmetric about this other?
I'm gonna see if I can stop this.
Oh, because the diode itself is made of two bodies.
It's in our interest.
It's semiconductor. One side has electrons, the other side has
Like, so they're like.
Just
holes.
if you use
Holes
like
are positive charges.
Okay.
make sure you have a spell
So
check.
that's asymmetry. Depending on which side
Okay.
the electron is,
Okay.
you will have like current in the direction.
Because, you know, if you do word, then you have a spell
Like,
check.
if you switch the diode
I
around,
think it, so it
current will
is.
flow down this direction and not right.
Okay,
Produce
good advice.
So there is.
They have different
I
energies.
told you,
Holes
I forgot
and
to
electrons.
mention to me there, but there's a.
Average energy. So
Yeah.
you can go from here to
So,
here, not here to here.
yeah, Diamond is also right.
The average energy of
Okay, so,
I'm
sorry, the material that's for
My God.
higher energy.
Myself.
It's not the electrons.
We also in the library.
Electrons in the
We've been
material
saying
have
like
higher energy than holes in the material.
So,
Right, in the first one.
Yeah.
There is spell checker.
Yeah, I never
That was
Yeah.
Sorry?
Sounds
That's
good.
true.
Imagine your texts are so bad. There's so many mistakes.
Yeah. You got started later.
All right.
Start.
So this is a happy occasion not only for the student but also for the professor. We have an FPO. He's going to talk about his work on barrier layers, permeation barrier layers for woods. Go ahead. So if I run out, he's going to call.
Okay. Thank you, Professor Wagner. Thank you all for my talk. So, I'm going to talk about on my work, which I've done in the past 3 years, on encapsulation of organic light-emitting diodes. This is the work which I've done under the guidance of my advisors, Professor Wagner and Professor Stern. This work was also done in an active collaboration with Universal Display Corporation, which is very close by from here. And I would like to read out these names. Siddharth, Prashant, Jeff Silvernail, William Quinn, and Raymond. They all actively contributed to the work which I'm going to show. So, organic light-emitting diodes are extremely attractive candidates for making displays. In fact, you can buy phones and TVs which are made out of OLEDs because they give you very good contrast, and they can be made into a very lightweight display. Exactly. So yeah, he has a fancy phone. The other promising feature about an OLED display is that they have the potential of being made flexible. But today we do not have a flexible phone or a flexible lighting panel or a flexible TV. That's because we don't have a good encapsulation. So I'm going to give you a story in the next 45 minutes as to what I've done towards my step towards getting an encapsulation for flexible displays. So why do we need an encapsulation, and what is an encapsulation? So first, say if I were to set out to make a flexible display, what I would do is start out with a flexible substrate, a plastic substrate preferably, and fabricate an OLED on top of it. But the OLED material and the cathode that goes along with it is extremely sensitive to atmospheric moisture and oxygen. So moisture and oxygen is going to corrode the OLED. So if I just keep this display outside, within a few minutes or a few days, I'll start seeing black spots on the surface of my display. So the display will go back. But you want your phone or your TV to work for a few years, ideally 10 years, or even longer. So to achieve this, what is proposed and what is attempted is that the OLED layer, which is the green layer here, is sandwiched between two impermeable thin films. So this thin film, the yellow color layer on top and below the organic light emitting diode layers, prevent the water permeation from outside into the organic light emitting diode. Since the OLED is extremely sensitive, the requirement for this permeation barrier is that it has to have a water vapor transmission rate of 10 to the minus 6 grams per meter squared per day. This is a debatable number, but it's a good starting point for making a reasonable flexible display. In the past few years, there have been several prototype demonstrations of flexible displays using such a scheme. Here is one which was here is a demonstration by LG Display last year at SID 2013, where they showed an actual display which was flexing when it was lit up. Here, this is a lighting panel, it's not a display, which is being fabricated on a metal foil. It is a table lamp and it has been encapsulated on one side, so it's actually flexible. On the right, this is a Samsung display, which was demonstrated in Consumer Electronics Show last year. So these are prototype displays, and I'm not sure how long they're going to work well. As in, if this particular display may last a few days, few weeks, but it's not there yet to last for 10 years, or the long duration that we need. So in our lab, what we have been working on one such permeation barrier film, and we call it the hybrid permeation barrier film. It was developed by Prashant Mandlik, who was a graduate student in our group 8 years ago. And this is a silicon dioxide silicon hybrid material that is developed in a PECVD, plasma enhanced chemical vapor deposition system, from source gases hexamethyl disiloxane and oxygen. Hexamethyl disiloxane is an organosilane molecule which has two silicon atoms, which is connected by an oxygen bridge, and it is surrounded by many methyl groups. When we put these two gases and strike a plasma, the oxygen slowly strips away all the methyl groups, and depending on the deposition conditions, we end up with a silicon dioxide film which has some carbon content in it. The resultant film, as a result, has very low water permeability. The carbon gives it some flexible nature and has no defects. For some people who have been in my lab, in one corner, in our lab, in one corner you see this machine. This is where I've been sitting next to for the past 3 years. So Prashant, Len, and myself, what we do to test this OLED display is that we make an OLED sample and we try to see how long, we try to encapsulate it. So here's a glass substrate which we started with, and the OLED is fabricated on top of it. And the barrier film is deposited using the PECVD machine which I showed you, and this combo is subject to high temperature and humidity testing, and we see how long the OLED lasts. And this is the means in which we test our barrier film, and so does everyone who tries to make a barrier film out there. So here is an example sample. The glass substrate and the OLED samples were given to us by Universal Display Corporation, and I take the sample and I encapsulate it. Here is an example sample. This is the boundary of the sample, and you see there are 4 pixels, and one of the pixels has been lit up, and the area of the pixel is 2 millimeters squared. This sample is subjected to high temperature and humidity, and we observe how it behaves at a high temperature and humidity. So this is an acceleration test to see whether this pixel stays lit up. An example result on the left here is when a 6 micron thick thin film, it's a thin film but it's 6 micron thick, has been deposited to protect the OLED, and has been subject to 65 degrees C, 85% relative humidity, and we see, and here is the time progression as to how the pixels stay, and it pretty much stays intact. There is no obvious degradation except for the shrinkage of the pixel. You can see the boundary shrinking. I'll talk about this later. I'll come to this again in the next slide. Here is another example where the thickness has been reduced from 6 microns to 4 microns. And when the thickness is reduced from 6 microns to 4 microns, what we start seeing is black spots which arise in the center of the sample. This is one example. We see many of these cases. And if you look closer into what is the source of the black spot, we see a particle at the center of the pixel. So many questions come up when we see this data. Is that what does this 2692 hours mean? Like at 65 degrees C, 85% relative humidity, okay, you have 2600.